Making headlines this hour, President Dr. Moise ratifies the Comprehensive Animal Husbandry and Animal Welfare Bill, ushering in a new era of strict regulation for animal care, trade and welfare across the nation. President Dr. Moise appoints Ahmad Mahlouf as the Maldives' ambassador to Japan in a ceremony at the President's office. The Ministry of Education announces a nationwide directive to standardize school uniforms across government institutions, set to take effect at the beginning of the 2027 academic year. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Minha Maroof. President Dr. Mohamed Moise ratifies the Comprehensive Animal Husbandry and Animal Welfare Bill, ushering in a new era of strict regulation for animal care, trade and welfare across the nation. The landmark legislation introduces significant financial penalties for various offences, notably targeting the dumping of domestic animals, a growing public concern. The newly enacted law aims to establish robust rules and standards to facilitate the safe and sustainable breeding, keeping and trading of animals while simultaneously ensuring the health and well-being of all animals kept within the country's borders. A key provision addresses public complaints regarding abandoned pets, with individuals found injuring an animal or releasing a stray animal in public places can now face fines ranging from $324.25 to $3,242.54. Beyond general welfare, the Act establishes a strong regulatory framework for biosecurity and commerce. It mandates registration for crucial activities including the importation of animals, the trade of animal feed and medicines, and the possession of certain items. To enforce these standards, the bill places the responsibility for formulating policy and executing the law squarely on the Minister of Agriculture and Animal Welfare. Additionally, the government is required to establish necessary infrastructure, including port quarantine facilities and dedicated animal sanctuaries at ports where animals are imported. Penalties outlined in the bill reflect the severity of certain offences. Spreading disease through animals carries the most severe fine, ranging from $648.50 up to $64,850.84. Misconduct concerning commercial activity is also heavily penalized, with illegal import and export subject to fines between $324.25 and $32,425.42. Lesser violations such as illegal breeding, sample fraud, or breaches of animal husbandry standards will incur fines from $648.50 to $6,485.8. Though the bill has been ratified, the Act will come into force 90 days from the date of its ratification, giving authorities and the public time to prepare for the sweeping new regulation. President Dr. Mohamed Moise appoints Ahmad Mahlouf as the Maldives' ambassador to Japan in a ceremony at the President's office. The appointment, made under the Foreign Service Act, which requires parliamentary ratification for diplomatic postings, was confirmed following approval by Parliament on 3rd December. Ambassador Mahlouf enters the diplomatic service with a career shaped by extensive political experience. He began his political life with the Divahira Yitunge Party under former President Mahmoud Abdul Gayoom, later joining the Maldivian Democratic Party. In the previous administration, he served as Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment. Earlier this month, he left his former party to join the ruling People's National Congress. Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake expresses profound gratitude to Maldivian President Dr. Mohamed Moise for the Maldivian government's generous support and kind message during a critical time for Sri Lanka as it reels from the devastation of Cyclone Ditwa. President Dissanayake highlighted that the solidarity demonstrated by our neighbour has been deeply reassuring to our people and reflects the strength of our long-standing relationship, underscoring the vital role of regional camaraderie. The comprehensive assistance from the Maldives includes a significant financial contribution of over $800,000 raised through a public media telethon, along with an additional $50,000 directly from the Maldivian government. Beyond monetary aid, the island nation has also generously donated 25,000 cases of tuna cans to Sri Lanka. The efforts extend beyond state channels, with Maldivian businessmen actively providing assistance in various forms, and the Maldives High Commission in Sri Lanka working diligently to support the locals in need of assistance. President Dissanayake reiterated that the government and people of Sri Lanka have gratefully accepted these concerted efforts, which not only provide crucial relief but also powerfully reinforce the enduring bond between the two Indian Ocean neighbours. Speaker of Parliament Abdul Rahim Abdullah firmly assures the public that the 20th Parliament, despite holding a historic supermajority for the ruling party, will not exploit its large mandate and will remain resolutely dedicated to the welfare of the Maldivian people. Speaking exclusively to PSM News following the conclusion of parliamentary sessions for the year, the Speaker emphasized the legislature's commitment to responsible governance and rigorous accountability. Speaker Abdul Rahim stressed that the Parliament operates strictly in accordance with the Constitution, laws and regulations, affirming that the body has already set a strong example in effectively holding the government accountable. He highlighted the 20th Parliament's rigorous workload, citing that 82 bills were introduced and 60 successfully completed during the last session alone, and promised that legislative work would not face delays in the upcoming term. Addressing public concerns over the potential abuse of the ruling People's National Congress (PNC) supermajority, the Speaker stated that the Parliament is working to give equal opportunities to all members regardless of party affiliation, ensuring laws are amended only in the way most beneficial for the public. He refuted allegations that the Parliament fails to properly review executive proposals, noting that once a bill is tabled, it is passed only after proper scrutiny and amendments are regularly incorporated if deemed necessary and consistent with the Constitution. The Minister of Homeland Security and Technology, Ali Ihsan, issues a stark warning, declaring that severe action will be taken against anyone involved in the sale and use of drugs, with no more leniency. The minister's strong statement comes in the wake of significant arrests of major drug dealers in Ado City, part of an ongoing national crackdown dubbed Operation Alimagu. In a social media post following Wednesday's arrests, Minister Ihsan reiterated the government's commitment to freeing the country from the drug epidemic. He confirmed that the special operation, launched under the direct orders of President Dr. Mohamed Moizu, will specifically target drug dealers. The minister also directly advised all drug dealers in the Maldives to cease their illicit activities, emphasizing that once police investigations reach them, strict legal action will be inevitable. The police operation in Ado City successfully apprehended several key leaders of major drug networks. Authorities revealed that an investigation into drug trafficking and money laundering linked to this network had been ongoing since March of this year. Police confirmed that the arrested individuals have been actively involved in drug trafficking since 2017, with over $1.2 million circulated through the accounts of 4 senior network members over the past 5 years. Operation Alimagu, which led to these arrests, was officially launched on 13th November. The Ministry of Education announces a nationwide directive to standardize school uniforms across government institutions, set to take effect at the beginning of the 2027 academic year. Officials said the measures, developed after extensive consultations with school leadership, are intended to streamline procurement and ensure greater accessibility for families. Schools have been instructed to complete the transition before the start of the 2027 term. The regulations stipulate that shirt colors must correspond with national symbols or ministry branding, restricted to white, sky blue, tea green, or light red. Trousers and skirts are confined to dark shades of black or navy blue. Activity uniforms will be standardized to plain black tracksuits without decorative elements, paired with tops in designated primary colors or the school's specific hue. Accessories are subject to strict regulation. Belts, socks, and formal shoes must be plain black, while athletic footwear is permitted solely for activity wear. Uniform standards vary by age group. Key Stage 5 students will be required to wear ties, while pupils in Key Stages 1 and 2 are exempt but must follow prescribed tucking rules. Arabiya School may retain its traditional attire but must adopt the new activity wear. The ministry noted that the reforms balance institutional identity with practical considerations, prioritizing comfort, ease of movement, and affordability for parents. We will be back after a short press.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدًا الوسيلة والفضيلة والدرجة الرفيعة وابعثه مقامًا محمودًا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Chadive Raja Award Award Koloma PSME application download Kolava. Download Koloma for login vela for Chadive Raja Programa Fit Kalava. Votlang Beno Daira Hiar Kurava Adi Votlang Benu Vara select Koloma for vote eva. Come votaki de token. Eng account to a voter voranginang vote the vene.
Welcome to PSM News in English. Medical Waste Management Systems is successfully installed and officially handed over across 21 islands in the Maldives, marking the completion of a significant project aimed at enhancing public health and environmental safety. A ceremony held last Wednesday in the Fushi Kafu Atoll celebrated the culmination of the initiative implemented by the United Nations Development Programme (UNDP) with the substantial financial assistance of the government of Japan. The project in the Maldives is part of a broader $4.4 million regional effort by UNDP, supported by Japan, to establish safe waste management facilities within the health sector across Southwest Asian countries between 2022 and 2025. In the Maldives, these new facilities in 21 health service centers are designed to ensure the safe disposal of medical waste, safeguarding both human health and the fragile island environment. Following the project's completion, the UNDP formally handed over the facilities to the government of the Maldives. Speaking at the ceremony, Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim lauded the initiative, stating that the investment will further strengthen the health service, ensure the safety of the environment, and provide better health services throughout the country. The handover ceremony included buildings specifically dedicated to health sector waste management, along with clean energy vehicles and safe waste disposal equipment. In a comprehensive upgrade, the project also supplied 65 electric tricycles for efficient waste collection and significantly boosted digital infrastructure with 270 computer systems and 40 network switches. Additionally, essential medical equipment including ECG machines and autoclave machines were provided to various islands. A crucial component of the initiative involved training 656 health workers on safe waste management practices, ensuring sustainable operation of the new systems. Additional services are also planned as part of the ongoing commitment to strengthen health infrastructure in the Maldives. U.S. stocks advances to close higher as a flurry of economic data kept expectations elevated for an interest rate cut by the Federal Reserve next week, while a fall in Microsoft's shares curbed the advance. The record-long 43-day U.S. government shutdown kept investors in the dark about official data and hampered the ability to gauge the Fed's likely path on interest rates, but the backlog is now being cleared along with data from non-governmental sources.
The stock market is definitely taking a bit of a relief rally here. There was some real concern a few weeks ago about the tech bubble bursting suddenly. We had a sell-off, but I think that most of that concern has been pushed aside. At least the can's been kicked down the road a little bit. The recovery in most of the big tech stocks, Amazon, Google, Cisco, Oracle, those stocks have pretty much recovered from that sell-off.
The Institute for Supply Management said U.S. services activity was little change in November at 52.6 versus 52.4 in October, while the prices paid component dipped but remained elevated. The reading comes ahead of the delayed personal consumption expenditures report, the Fed's preferred inflation gauge, on Friday. Separately, the ADP National Employment Report showed U.S. private payroll unexpectedly declined in November, with official employment reports for October and November due only after the central bank's policy announcement. Market participants have placed more weight than usual on private sector data. The S&P 500 gained 20.35 points to end at 6,849.72 points, while the Nasdaq Composite gained 40.42 points to 23,454.09. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 408.44 points to 47,882.9. United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres tells there was something fundamentally wrong with how Israel conducted its military operation in the Gaza Strip, and there are strong reasons to believe that war crimes have been committed. More than 70,000 people have been killed in Gaza, according to the Enclave's Health Ministry, during the two-year-old conflict between Israel and Palestinian Hamas.
I think I would repeat today what I said 2 years ago. I think there was something fundamentally wrong in the way this operation was conducted, with total neglect in relation to the deaths of civilians and to the destruction of Gaza. There is a kind of a paradox. After this whole period, Gaza, the objective was to destroy Hamas. Gaza is destroyed, but Hamas is not yet destroyed. So there is something fundamentally wrong.
A fragile truce has been in place since October 10th, but Israel has continued to strike Gaza and conduct demolitions against what it says is Hamas infrastructure. Hamas and Israel have traded blame for violating the US-backed agreement. Guterres praised the United States, an ally for Israel, for being instrumental in improving aid access in Gaza, where a global hunger monitor said in August that famine had taken hold. The UN has long complained of obstacles to delivering and distributing aid in Gaza, blaming impediments on Israel and lawlessness. Guterres said that negotiations to end Russia's war in Ukraine appeared stuck and that the solution to conflict should abide by international law and the territorial integrity of states. Chinese President Xi Jinping and French President Emmanuel Macron oversees the signing of 12 cooperation agreements in Beijing, pledging to deepen ties across population aging, bilateral investment, nuclear energy, and panda conservation. Xi said the countries agreed to enhance cooperation in aerospace and nuclear energy, artificial intelligence, the green economy, and biopharmaceuticals. Xi will accompany Macron to southwestern China's Sichuan province, lavish treatment considering he seldom joins visiting world leaders once they leave Beijing. A large business delegation is accompanying Macron on his fourth state visit to the world's second-largest economy. Macron in the past has sought to project a robust European front in dealing with China, while being careful not to antagonize Beijing, with China a key export market for many of France's most prominent companies. According to Chinese customs data, China is France's seventh-largest trading partner, buying around $35 billion in goods each year. About 10% of those products are cosmetics, with aircraft parts and alcoholic spirits among other key exports. For its part, France takes about $45 billion worth of Chinese products, mostly low-value parcels, through online platforms like Shein, of cheap clothes, accessories and gadgets direct from Chinese factories, thanks to an EU customs waiver on purchases below $174.48. UEFA President Alexander Ceferin says at the governing body's executive committee that Germany will host the 2029 Women's European Championship. Denmark and Sweden had submitted a joint bid while Poland was also a candidate. Italy and Portugal had withdrawn their bids before the vote, focusing on their preparations to co-host the Men's Euro 2032 and 2030 Men's World Cup respectively. Germany hosted the tournament in 2001 and as West Germany in 1989, both times winning on home soil. Before the executive committee meeting, a small group of activists unfurled a banner demanding UEFA ban Israel from European competition over the country's military operations in Gaza, also setting off pink flares. They were overseen by police and no incident was reported. A newly hatched macaroni penguin chick makes its public debut at a Galveston, Texas aquarium.
Amid the display at Moody Gardens Aquarium Pyramid, the macaroni penguin chick weighed in at 1.25 kilograms, nearly 14 times the 90 grams the chick weighed after hatching November 11.
So the chick was hatched in late November, and we do not have a gender yet. So when penguins hatch out, they have what's called down feathers, which is going to be their chick feathers. And while they have those feathers, they are not waterproof yet, so they are fully dependent on their parents. But once the chick loses those feathers after a couple months and is fully grown, we'll end up getting a little blood sample and sending that out to some scientists who will run the DNA, and they will give us the gender from there.
At just a few weeks old, the penguin chick is covered in down feathers which are not waterproof. The chick relies on its parents for warmth, protection and food, which is regurgitated for the chicks. After 2 months or so, the chick will grow its adult waterproof coat, and as it matures further through the years, the distinct yellow crest of the macaroni penguin species. Moody Gardens penguin biologist Jill Dodds said the aquarium doesn't yet know the sex of the penguin chick, but will soon send a blood sample for DNA testing to determine its sex. Macaroni penguins are found in the subantarctic and Antarctic regions and listed as vulnerable in the IUCN's red list of threatened species due to climate change, overfishing of the penguin's food source, pollution, predators and other threats. The new macaroni penguin chick brings the aquarium's total penguins to 108. Dodds said the chick will eventually receive a pasta themed name like its peers Spaghetti, Linguine and Bucatini. The chick's parents have cheese themed names, Gorgonzola and Blow.
And that's all we have for now. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a pleasant day ahead.